Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking this time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, Accountability versus Denial. Accountability versus denial. Have you ever been in a debate with someone and you wanted to hold them responsible for something they said or did, but yet out comes, "Don't blame me. I never said that. You're mistaken. It wasn't me." Accountability versus denial. You were there. I saw you. I need for you to make this go away. How are we going to come to any type of resolve if you don't want to admit that you said this? But I didn't, and I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't want to talk about this anymore. Bye. Accountability versus denial. You can't say much more when the person doesn't want to talk to you. They have walked out the door. They have slammed the phone. They have told people not to get in touch with them concerning you. Denial. People who are like this, you have no choice but to let them go. If you have repeatedly battled with someone like this over and over again, you present information to them, they say, "No, that's not right. You're incorrect." Or they turn the tables on you somehow, some way. Why would they repeatedly do this sort of thing? Because they don't want to be held accountable to anything. Because a self-righteous, perfectionist, I'm better than you, prideful type of person does not want to face the fact that they mess up sometimes, that they don't always get it right, that they know that they were in the wrong for some things they said and did. And then you, Christian, you, holy thou, right? They like to put their little phrases. You come to me, how dare you? I mean, wasn't it not that long ago when you made some mistakes? And the nerve of you. Yeah, but at that time, if you had an issue with what I did, then I would have expected you to bring it up. Now, because I found that you've done something wrong and we need to fix it, you want to start bringing up some stuff that you could have brought up. And matter of fact, now that you've brought it up, let's talk about it. But it's still not going to change the fact that you have said something or you have done something that has caused me some problems. Maybe you are the one that's approaching them about money. Money's a big one, isn't it? Woo! The anger that rises up in people's faces, especially if they don't want to spend money. Oh, but we need to spend this money because we got to get this done and that done. Well, let's go with this. But that's cheaper. And you know we're going to end up having to replace it. Well, I'm not spending all my money on this. But if we want to be able to get this done and done right, we're going to have to spend X amount of dollars. I've already checked into this. I've checked into that. I've also researched on this and that. And it looks like we are stuck with this dollar figure. Okay? And then if you go ahead, let's just use this same example, and you go ahead and you buy that cheap item and it breaks. They're going to blame you, aren't they? And then you might be put in a position where now you're denying some things. Well, I wouldn't have gotten that. Matter of fact, you know what? You were really the one that got it. What do you mean I was the one that got it? You picked up the phone. You placed the order. I know, but you didn't want to spend that money. You're not going to hold yourself accountable for it, right? Because they didn't want to spend the money for it and gave you no option but to buy the cheaper item. Now it breaks and now they want to blame you for it. They want to hold you accountable now. You see, that's an example, but it happens. Accountability versus denial. Ding, ding, ding. Round one. Person comes up to you and they say something like, I don't appreciate what you said about me the other day when we were over at, this person's house, whoever that might be. Well, I didn't appreciate what you did. What do you mean? Well, you did this and you did that. I don't recall. Of course you don't. Well, I want to talk about this. Well, I don't. Because until you admit to what you said and what you did, we have nothing to talk about. Ding, 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 ding. Round 2. You've been ignoring me for a long time now. No, I haven't. Yes, you have. If you want this relationship to work, you're going to have to start opening up your mouth and treat me with some respect. I don't have to do any of it. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think this relationship is even worth staying in. Really? Is that how you feel? Yeah, that's how I feel. You don't want to talk about anything? I'm tired of talking. Ding, 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 ding. Round 3. What's this? What do you think it is? Why would you do this? Because the relationship's over. So go ahead and sign the papers. I'm not signing anything. Well, it doesn't matter whether you sign it or not. We're through. I mean, you just sprung this on me? No, it's been going on for a long time. So, I mean, I don't want to have to go through this. And I hope you really know what you're doing. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Just read the papers, sign them, put them in the mail. Ding, 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 ding. Round 4. We're in court. Okay? And now someone is denying that they did this and they did that and they never cheated or they never lied or they never gave the partner a hard time. They're a good man, a hard worker, a wonderful, mother, a sweetheart for a wife. If that was the case, why is everybody in court? You see, no one wants to take any responsibility for the demise of the relationship. So you see, accountability versus denial, it shows up, right, at home, and then it shows up in the workplace. Who was responsible for ordering all these supplies? I don't know. Let's look at the paper. Let's see who signed it. You see? Why is this project still incomplete? Well, Jim was supposed to take care of it. No, it wasn't Jim. Well, who was it? It was supposed to be Jane, but Jane called off. Well, then when Jane wasn't in, right, who was supposed to take over? I don't know. You don't know. Well, I wasn't even there that day. Look, I took a personal day. Okay, well then who else was a part of the project? Well, Mark was. Mark, well, what did you do? Well, I only did the part that Jane told me to do, and I didn't know about all these other things. So no one is going to take responsibility for anything. Well, I mean, everybody had a part in this. Yeah, and everybody's not talking about it, and everybody's not willing to do anything about it. But now we're going to have to start taking a close look at who needs to stay and who needs to go then. Okay? Accountability versus denial. And what is God saying to all of this? Well, God has already shown us that if we don't listen and obey him, if we don't trust in him, if we don't pray, if we don't draw near to him, he's not going to draw near to us. So in all of these scenarios that play out in our lives, when it comes to accountability versus denial, we've got to make sure that we're going to the Lord with our burdens, with our concerns. And we've got to do these things before stuff blows up. So when you see that there are signs early on that a person's not doing their job, that a person is being disrespectful, that a person is not stepping up to the plate, that the individual is coming up with all sorts of excuses as to why he or she can't get something done, it's best to go ahead and address the issues before everybody else ends up being caught up in the mess, before lots of money is being spent once again on something that should have been fixed a long time ago, before folks start saying, I'm never talking to you again because you keep doing this or because you keep saying this. You saw the writing on the wall early on, some of you all, when you saw the facial expressions, when you noticed that the person wasn't calling you as much, when you noticed that the person wasn't talking to you. You saw early on. Why? Why is it that she doesn't really want to deal with me? Why is it that he's not really coming around? What was it that you said? What was it that you did? How come you didn't hold yourself accountable? Why did you deny that certain events never took place? Why did you say that things happened when they really didn't? Okay? We confess our sins and we repent. We change our mindset. Maybe it's not a good idea that every time when I'm asked a question to deny things, right? Somebody once said, oh, if you're asked something, just deny it. No, it's not a good, it's not a good tactic. When you deny over and over again, at some point, people start picking up on the fact that you're nothing more than a liar, a coward, a cheat. Okay? They start putting things together and then they don't want to be involved with you. When you are one who's always holding people accountable to every little itty bitty thing, after a while they get tired of that too, because they say, well, can't you just give me, a little bit of wiggle room? Can you just pipe it down a bit on the holding me accountable to everything? I mean, this particular situation wasn't one of those that was, terribly wrong. But yes, I will take full responsibility and get the job done. And that's all most people want to hear is that, yes, I messed up and I will fix it. But for those, though, that like to constantly run away from things, even when you know that you're at fault, even when you're the one who made the wrong decision, it's going to be problems for you, problems that you don't even have to be mixed up in if you would have just said from the start, okay, I'll go ahead and take care of this. A lot of times the reason why accountability versus denial even blows up into, folks getting divorces and other things is because people just don't want to admit to the fact that they're wrong. Okay? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Yep. I was out there. I was doing this, that, and the other. I'm wrong. I didn't show up for work and, I didn't tell anybody that this was supposed to get done and I didn't pass the documents over to so-and-so, okay, what's the consequence to this? I'll deal with it. I'll put my time in. I sincerely apologize. You see? And that quells a whole lot of the hollering and the yelling and people slamming doors and folks threatening to take people to court and other people talking about, I don't even want to be around him because he's crazy, But it happens. And so when you are faced with that major issue or concern, or it blows up into a huge fight, know that God is still going to hear from you if you just reach out to him and tell him, look, this is what went down. Jesus, I know you were there, but this is how I feel about it. Okay. And then he will give you the solutions if you ask him, well, what can I do to make things right? Okay. I thank you so much as always for listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Please do subscribe if you haven't. Also, if you haven't given, we welcome donations. And please do check the description box for anything of interest. To God be the glory.